TW Steel presents the TW Steel Solberg World Champion Editions. The Norwegian motorsport legend. The first driver ever to win the FIA World Championships in 2 different motorsports. The raw talent that masters every terrain as he faces it at full speed. With a life lived on the edge that requires supreme timekeeping and keep your pulse racing all the way. Built with elegance, durability and unbeatable timekeeping precision, TW Steel's new breed of bold watches reflects the racing spirit of Petter Solberg. Meet our new adrenaline-fueled watches that really demand your attention. twsteel.com.
Village of Le Mans in France is hosting our final event of the GT Pro Series. So basically we just went on the tram to the track, get out of the tram, and we're here at the beautiful and iconic circuit. Ready for the GT Pro final, for all the stuff that we waited basically. 30 drivers, the best of the world, and the first one gets crowned as our champion. Tonight in the race, my name is Rainier Butler once again, and with me in the commentary booth are the remarkable voices of Lee Demon Smith and obviously Adam Millward. Hey guys.
Yeah, hello. What a race to finish on though. Obviously Le Mans, big old laps. The guys have been practicing for the last hour for this one to get themselves in there, and probably for the first time we're starting to see a bit of disparity because of the length of the track. There is a bit of a gap in some of the laps, so it could be a very interesting race with obviously all the points to go for. And speaking of points, Aiden, he's got his calculator ready. He's got his notebook out. He's going to be making all sorts of little things to figure out who the heck is going to win.
Yeah, I'm going to be keeping one eye on the race and one eye on the old spreadsheet that we've got, just to see what's going on. I'll keep you updated at the end of the first race when all that gets filled in. But one thing that's really going to throw a spanner in the works for any potential championship victor tonight is it's the track cuts, track limits on the exit of Corvette, which is like the final run before the final chicane, and at Tetra Rouge as well, which is the straight before the Long Mulsanne. If you keep picking up track cuts there, you're not going to be in a very fun place because it's just going to ruin your race with a drive-through. But over the course of the race, there's not that many laps, given how long Le Mans is. It's about 8 miles long, so you might get away with it if you're careful, but it's still going to be there, and we don't want that to happen. We don't want the championship decided by who went off the track the most.
Yeah, respecting the track limits, but we had great races in the previous races of the season, the previous 5 rounds that we've seen with Sebring. We have Nurburgring GP, Imola, VIR. So we had action all over the place each and every race. It's the same format for the big final in Le Mans. We got a 50-minute sprint race, and then we head into the 45 minutes main race, which starts with the top 10 being reversed. So there will be quite a challenge, and once again the run for getting pole position in the main race. Qualification currently is on the way, and as Demon already said, it is for the championship, and we still don't have a clear leader. We know that Ernie Jovski made a great run through the first 5 rounds. He's sitting at top, 779 points. If you now think, wait, should it be at 900? That's because the worst result will be deleted. So if a driver wasn't able to attend all 6 rounds, then it doesn't hurt that much. You see that round 2 for Erhan is great. That means that's his lowest result, so we cut it out of the final standings. Right behind that is Kevin Siggy, 761 points, and then Rudy von Buren from Team Redline, who won't participate today. So that means it's Gajowski, Siggy, and then from my calculations, it would be Tomola and Simoncic with at least mathematical a chance to get the championship crown here tonight at Le Mans. Everyone else, yeah, that will be more than a miracle needed to actually get on top.
Yeah, and that's obviously... sorry, Aidan, I just wanted to jump across. That's not the only thing, obviously, because there is also the relegations, which is a big old problem. So, obviously, we have the Challenger Series. Down below this, we're going to have drivers coming up. So, not only we're obviously going to keep our eye on the front runners, which is the obvious part. We want to keep our eye on the season to be the champion, but also we need to be keeping our eye on who's actually dropping down out of this series.
I guess we can actually have that on screen shortly for you guys, so we can run through the drivers that need those points to make sure that the NGT Pro Series next season, because obviously there will be a next season. We don't need to discuss that or any rumors. There will be season 2, so don't worry. But yeah, who's in that? Because the last 5 in the leaderboard, they will drop out immediately, and then the next 5 will actually go into a relegation event until against the positions 6 to 10 from the Challenge Series Split 1 to fight for the last remaining spots of the GT Pro Series. So there's a lot of action still coming across the entire year. So better get used to all the names that you see here and used to the format, because it's quite exciting. Well, we have Dennis Lind on our camera, the only Bentley GT3 driver here in the GT Pro Series. He put on a great show at Imola, where he really managed to finally score big with the big boy. And now he wants to redo the same at Le Mans. Robin Punzler, he's underway in one of the R8s, and he's actually 28th right now in the championship, which means if it stays like that, he would drop out of Pro immediately. So one of the guys to watch for. He will need to score a lot of points to stay. Aidan, well, I see the R8. The R8 was actually the car scoring the first sprint and main race victory in the entire GT series, right?
Yeah, Michi Hoyer won the sprint race over at Sebring in Challenge, and that obviously put him to the back of the top 10 for the reverse grid, and he just came through and dominated the rest of the race for the weekend from there. So we didn't think it would actually happen, given how tight the grids are in these races. But he did. Somehow that Audi was just hooked up for Sebring, when really we've been seeing most of the wins taken by McLarens and BMWs this season.
Now, sticking with the points, we have had, obviously, you know, the drivers obviously were allowed to remove a certain race, whichever they want, but there were penalties from last week, Aidan. I say last week, last race, that have caused a bit of an effect in this race.
Yeah, I mean, my screen is. I've not got enough screens, I should say. So these penalties will be applied to the second of the 2 races. So they will be in the feature race, not in the sprint race. So Rudy van Buren was following Peja Pevin and Jakub Brzezinski. Brzezinski braked a little bit earlier than what Van Buren expected and was basically sent into the shadow realm. For that, Rudy van Buren has picked up a penalty for avoidable contact, but he hasn't turned up this week, so he won't be serving that. Also, in the second race, there's a couple of racing incidents. Kevin Van Duren went to the right of the track and bumped Nuno Pinto off the road. That was a racing incident, and the race stewards said, just make sure you're actually in front of the driver properly before moving over. Jurnej Simoncic made a move under braking, so that was an infraction. Just, you know, don't move in the braking zone. You're not Max Verstappen. Then you got Brzezinski has picked up a penalty for avoidable contact because he dived just way too far back, and he's picked up that's actually an infraction. So there's no penalty for Brzezinski there. Oh, he did pick up one for contact into one of the corners by braking way too late. And Peja Pev is the other driver who's picked up a penalty for avoidable contact as well. Just a couple of notes here from the stewards, just clarifying rule 6.2 and 6.3. 6.3 is basically no blocking, and 6.2 is just make sure you've got your car alongside before you try turning in. So yeah, that's caused a bit of a stir in Discord and the forums and all that stuff, but it's all under control, and we're hopefully going to have some great racing here today.
I'm absolutely sure that we will see great racing. The previous Sebring one was absolutely amazing, stunning actually everywhere
it was, yeah.
on the track. And Le Mans is a completely different style, we know that. Like characteristic-wise on this track, it's a different style of driving that you need to be up front. It's a lot of slipstreaming, a lot of deciding if I actually make a move or not, because, if you drop out of slipstream, then all of a sudden you might find yourself being dropped down the leaderboard. And it will be interesting if it might even be a track that is on the good side for some of the unusual drivers, I would say, or drivers that do a lot of endurance, because Le Mans, as being an endurance track, is raced in a lot of endurance series, just like VEC, for example. So could we see other people being in the top 10?
Oh, maybe. Let me just go back to the old standings here. I mean, we've got. Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I was trying to clear a million things off my screen so I could see the Discord stream. It's like, what?
Aiden is breaking under pressure already for the final, so
yeah.
you can see if Aiden is already struggling. How is
this
it
is
for
not
the
easy.
drivers? No, I was.
They're going to drive
asking,
around Le Mans as quickly as possible. I'd die. I did die. Yeah.
I was asking if we might see new names in the top 10 due to this track being heavily used in endurance championships rather than sprint, as it is in Le Mans, the endurance track itself, basically.
Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, you've still got your usual suspects at the top. You've got Siggy and Pev. Eunice Radio is pretty decent in endurance racing. So I think that we're going to see a lot more overtaking just because of the slipstream, I think. Whether that will bring more people in. Maybe some of the drivers will make a sort of low-key deal. I'll pull you along, you pull me along, we'll try and break the slipstream, and then we can go off and race for a potential win later on. So it's open to 1,000,001 different strategies right now, which I can't wait to see.
Well, Rene, it's funny you should mention that, because I do see a certain Butler Pal race driver in the top 10 right now that is actually fighting for relegation, if I'm not mistaken, Shara.
That is true. I mean, 8th position is probably the highest we have been so far in the qualification, so I'm more than happy about that. But Shara definitely not one of the ones to look for the championship, but he's fighting against dropping out immediately. Actually, he's I think he's 26th. He's 25th, so he's fighting against Jan von der Heide, Kevin Ryan, Ferris Stanley, and Robin Ponsartu, who is dropping out immediately and who's going to relegation. So I think for nearly all of the drivers on the grid, there's something to go for. It will either be money in this race, because there's a prize pool for every single position, basically, for the top positions, obviously, not all 30. Then there's the overall prize pool of the championship, so it's a 10k prize pool for the races, across the races, and then it's a 5k prize pool at the end of the championship. And then there's also the fight either for the championship or against relegation or against dropping out immediately. So I think all of the drivers have something to fight for, and that will make this race in Le Mans very, very interesting.
Well, Siggy has just posted another quick. He looks like he is on fire today. This is looking like a race that he's going to be the one to challenge. Obviously, Yayovsky is the closest contender. He is at the top at the moment. Yayovsky, there is history between Siggy and Yayovsky going back, God, probably about 2 or 3 years now over sim racing in various, actually probably longer than that now, actually, in various competitions, not just here in the GT Pro Series, but they have been the two that have been challenging each other for the longest. Great to see Dennis Lin put in some decent laps in practice, but he hasn't managed to do it in qualifying right now. He was up in, I think it was about 5th or 6th in the practice hot laps, but hasn't managed to put it on the turf when it counts right here. Also seeing Pinto way down as well in 25th, sadly, so it doesn't look like it's working out well for him in the Audi.
One thing I've noticed, though, is that we've spent so much time at Virginia talking about how much of a weapon the BMW was in a straight line, but the actual fastest BMW is 4th, half a second behind a McLaren. We've actually got a Porsche in 2nd place. So unless the Porsche catches right up in the Porsche curves, or Arne Schoenflit's managed to find a setup that really does work around here.
could be. I mean, we saw the Porsche also being on pole, was it that?
There we
in
go.
VIR? No, in Imola.
Imola. Yeah, it was
we had a
PF.
Porsche in front. That was a pretty good
But he went
showing.
backwards. That was the only thing.
For the Porsche drivers. It was really good. But not seeing the BMWs up front is actually a real surprise. Well, we got the Sebring qualification result, it says, but that's not Sebring. It is Le Mans. And it's Kevin Siggy taking another pole for McLaren Shadow here, 350.1. Then, as Aiden said already, Arne Schoenfliet in second on the fastest Porsche. Nikodem Wisniewski for Williams Esports in third. That's the second McLaren 720S. And then it's the first BMW with Erhan Yayovski. AAA Esports. Jonas Raivio really good today. Fifth position for him in the Sancho McLaren. And then the second Porsche by PF. So it seems to work well for the Porsches.
Yeah, Dennis Lind, that last, we just saw it on the screen there, just getting 8th place, pipping it in there in the last-ditch effort, so working out well for him. Dennis Jordan finds himself in the top 10, and Shara is there in 10th place, Rene. Butler Powell representing in the top 10 of the sprint race.
Oh, you always have to overdo that, right?
Still behind Azancho, though.
Oh! Actually,
apply
that's really
water,
great, right? We got
apply
someone
water
here
to that burn.
That's attached to Sunshine, and then we got someone here that's attached to Butler Powell Motorsport, so there will be a good fight on the track. I'm absolutely sure about that. As always with the GT Pro Series, and same for GT Challenge, we will obviously see a pace lap around it, warm-up lap, and then we head into a flying start and double file, which will be lapped by Kevin Siggy. Will be very interesting to see where he starts the race this time. We saw all kind of different decision-making, basically, in the previous races. I really love that we have so many different cars this time in the top 10. I mean, there's a BMW, there's a Porsche, there's a McLaren, there's the Bentley. That's 4 already. Did I miss one? Was there an Audi in the top 10?
No.
No.
I mean,
we missed an Audi in the top 10. All right. Demon, that's your part. Lead us through the grid.
Yeah, and this is an interesting one. Obviously, Kevin Siggy, the one to watch in first place. Arne Schoenfliet there in second. More importantly, down the grid is going to be Yayovski's on fourth. Obviously, points contenders. We're looking at those guys. Wisniewski also great return from him, but look further down the field. Simičić down in 11th place, couldn't get placed into the top 10, but I think for the first time possibly in this series, he's always been up there as a contender. Further down, we have Nisula, but more importantly for me is Juni Tormula way down. Obviously, these are all big points contenders with a real chance to challenge for the title. 17th for Tormula, not the position he wanted here in this final race either. And then, who else is in there? Probably our Sabti and Briliac are probably a little bit out of it, right? They're probably not really within reach, especially considering the qualification. Yeah, cap it down in 22nd. So again, we were talking about it. The BMWs, they've been a bit sluggish, it seems, here at Le Mans. And of course, they are now going to work their way around. This is probably going to be the longest warm-up lap we've had, I think, of the series.
It's not the whole lap. Let's get that bit out of the way. They've started just before the Porsche curves, otherwise we would be here.
We would be here for 4 minutes, yeah.
But
Possibly more, yeah.
Wait,
the formation lap would be 15 minutes, but it would,
with the start being closer, let's quickly catch on. Risto Capet tweeted out today that this will be his last race for AAA Esports, since Aiden is basically our director of rumors. Aiden, what's going on there?
I don't know what you're on about.
Oh, you don't know? All right, it's
No,
on Twitter. You can check it out. Risto said this will be his last race.
I go on Twitter to read to find memes rather than
and actual info. That's great. Seeing your preparation is always astonishing for me for these races. But let's get into the final. This is the last round of the first ever GT Pro season, which means we'll crown our very first champion as well. And Kevin Siggy will lead the grid into the last sprint race start, at least, because there will be a main race with 45 minutes right after this one. But let's see whether McLaren Shadow Driver is opening up that race. We're looking over his rear mirror. That's Arne Schoenfliet on the outside. And then there's Wisniewski. That's the white-blue McLaren right behind him. And then you see the first BMW. That is Yayovski. And I think we're on the way into the final round here. First sprint race at Le Mans.
Yeah, and Arnie was completely caught off there. Wisniewski does manage to get through straight away. Look at Siggy, he's caught them completely napping there. Yuyovski also a little bit behind. Arnie's going to try and put a bit of pressure on as he manages to try and squeeze it up the inside, but Wisniewski should be able to hold the angle there. Now looking through the chicane, see if there's anyone collecting inches. It looks like Dennis Linden's managed to keep himself in 8th place. Peo Pev is going to get past Yuyovski. That's a big point runner right there. The Porsche managing to squeak its way through. Wisniewski up behind Ravio as well. Further down the field, so Yuyovski back down into 5th place, not the start he was looking for.
It seems like some people caught off guard, as you said already. Also, Shara moved up 1. Dennis Jordan lost the position there. Dennis Lind now all on the back of the Williams Esports McLaren. Look at how close they are on the straights here. The Bentley eating the McLaren alive, but didn't find a way around it yet.
That's
like
like
Arnie's
borderline
going
bunt drafting, isn't it?
Has he got the drift to get through? That's the question. Past Wisniewski, get back into 2nd place. He's got a good pull down the corner and he should be able to outbrake. No, Wisniewski just shuts the door, says no thank you, you're not coming through on this chicane. But you can see Peo Pev has pulled away nicely at the moment, and it is going to be going backwards, unfortunately, for Yuyovski. He's down into 6th place now, so the BMW really struggling to perform here.
And Schoenfleet and Wisniewski battling as well, as allowing Kevin Siggy to pull away. He's got a 1.1 second lead on the Mulsanne. So if he breaks that toe, the drivers behind are going to be in a world of trouble.
Peo Pev is absolutely on it. Look at him. He's managed to drift past, and oh, he came in a little hot there, just about late braking. So managed to catch it before he takes the rear end off Wisniewski there. So managed to catch it working well. Ciara, you can see further down the field. But this is the little battle that's been going on. The Porsche is pulling in the pace, it seems, but it's Kevin Siggy out in the lead. And could he be the champion? It looks like Wisniewski's going to have a little look down the inside once again. But look at Peo Pev trying to take advantage of this one. Wisniewski sticking through Peo Pev right on the back of them.
And there might be a chance for Peo Pev to also look into that overtaking, but it wasn't enough there. Arne Schoenfleet making sure that he's back on the line early enough to not let the HM Engineering Porsche pass him as well. Obviously, he lost the position. He started in 2nd, but still fighting here against Nikan Wisniewski. So that's Williams against Archer Racing. Now they go 3 wide on the straight. Peo Pev
Not into Indy. Please, not into
inside.
Indy. Yeah, 3 wide into Indianapolis is not going to work. One of them is going to have to back out, otherwise it's going to be a horrendous crash.
And look further behind, Dennis Lind has got past Yuyovski there. So the Bentley doing Yuyovski down into 7th place now. And oh my word, almost collecting his backside there. Just about squeezing on the brakes in the last second. You can see Ben Kalila also working his way through. That's going to be Ravio. Ravio now catching onto the side of them. And Peo Pev, what a move that worked out to be. Going 3 wide, he sneaks up from 4th up to 2nd.
I think when it's about aggressive moves, then Peo Pev is the one to name. In the previous races as well, he showed great attacks there. And we also see Dennis Lind, as he said, now getting onto Jonas Raivio in the Sunshow McLaren. It's slightly different to the livery he was driving before, in case you're now a bit confused. Still the same driver, though. While we're on board with Jimmy Nisula, teammate of Ferris Stanley, but he is in the McLaren 650S, while Ferris Stanley isn't the only AMG GT that we have here. So it will be interesting to see if they can move up the field. But look at how close it is between all of the guys there, close to the top 10. That group is led by Shara. Then they got Brzezinski right after. So Brzezinski lost the position to Shara. Now Dennis Jordan, he was struggling a bit coming out of Indianapolis. We didn't saw that on camera, but I saw it on the second one. He was a bit drifting out there. But it seems like lap 1 worked pretty well for nearly everyone, especially for Dennis Lind.
Yeah,
I think Jonas Ravio.
Yeah,
I think Jonas Ravio picked up a cut track on the exit of Corvette, as we see a slow-mo of Kevin Siggy just pushing aside those bollards on the inside of Mulsanne corner. It's actually a bit quicker to take a slight amount of the tarmac on the inside, so get rid of those bollards and just be careful the next time you go through those. You will pick up a cut track.
Yeah, I think that was on the second lap, sorry. I think I remember seeing it when Peo Pev and Arnie were having a little battle back there. But great moves from Shara, as you say. Did manage to squeeze up into 8th place, fighting for position in the tournament in the series for Season 2. So they can work his way through the field at the moment. He is now looking at the backside of Yuyovski and actually closing in, to be fair. Meanwhile, we see Dennis Jordan under pressure. Jimmy Nisula trying to send it down the outside. Looks like he may well have position, because it looks like Jordan's going to get caught up behind. He will, and Nisula's just going to sail past both of them.
That worked quite well here, using the slipstream and then slingshot off that. So Dennis Jordan will lose another position. It's not looking good for him. He was starting inside the top 10 before. He's now down to 13th already. We're on board with Dennis Lind. That's Dennis Lind against Rivio. If I'm not, no, that's not Rivio in front of him though. That is Yayovsky. Yayovsky's BMW, and Dennis Lind also using all the power of the Bentley that's available, just passing the BMW here right before entering
Speaking of it,
Indianapolis.
Dennis Lind, he's just cruised on by. He's got past Rivio.
Oh,
No,
he
he's
spun.
gone. He's gone. Spun out. So I think he maybe just centered a little too aggressively there. I couldn't really tell how the contact was made, but Dennis Lind goes off the track.
That was very unfortunate. What's that? Who did he collect there? That was Brzezinski, was it?
It was Wisniewski was coming up behind
Wisniewski.
Rivio, yeah.
Ah.
Oh, Pev's in the wall. Pev in the
Oh,
wall
that's
just
second
before
place.
Mulsanne corner.
Is it Pev? Yeah, so Schoenfeld has actually gone past. So Schoenfeld's back up into second place now. So Pev just swinging it a little bit wide there. Wisniewski obviously still in fourth place on the back side of them. Meanwhile, obviously, you can see Juri Tomola up into the top 10. Now, obviously, that's an important one. We're in the sprint race. There's still 9 minutes to go, but Tomola definitely in there in the points running to try and get some really high placement in this championship.
He did quite a lot of work though. He started, what did he say, 17th into the sprint race, and now he is in the top 10. So the Red Bull Racing Esports driver really putting a lot of work into his Le Mans sprint race. While we see that is Brzezinski in the braking here, trying to close the gap to the Butler Motorsport McLaren right in front of him. He probably can use enough of the slipstream to launch attack at the end of this lap. If he gets a good exit here, didn't look that well. It's Biolek and Simic side by side. Biolek trying to push his way through here, and it seems like he will pull the move on the Audi R8. No, the R8 a bit stronger. And is that Dennis Jordan? BMW there.
Well, Dennis Jordan's just had a warning from Jimmy Allison for lagging, so I don't know if he's pulled over just to try and let the connection sort itself out. But he was definitely on the side of the track there. But as you said, Simic been followed by Berliak and several others. Oh, that was close. Whew. That was brave.
Indeed it was. Kevin Siggy, he's the one that is probably laughing right now in his cockpit. Everyone fighting on the back of him, and he creates that 2-second gap already. Daniel Pasto, another driver that is fighting to stay in this. He's 22nd right now in the standings, which means he will need to gain another 2 positions in standings to actually stay in GT Pro without going to relegation. So he will fight for each and every point that is available here on board with Ferry Stanley, the second satellite racing car. That's the AMG GT though. What do we get in the replay? Do we actually see the crash? This might be it. This Dennis Lind side by side with Jonas Raiva on the central, overshooting into the corner, getting loose, and then tapping the rear of Wisniewski's McLaren just ever so slightly, but it was enough to lose control.
I think it was a good job that Wisniewski didn't go out there as well. That could have easily gone very wrong, collecting through the chicane there. So I thought he came in a bit hot, just a little too hot it seems. Back to the front runners. Kevin Siggy's now got himself a 2-second lead, looking great for him in this sprint race at the moment. Arnie's holding steady. He's actually pulled a little bit ahead of Payapev as well. Wisniewski and Ravio and Yayovsky all a little close at the moment, between 4th down to 6th. They're the ones that are putting the challenge in now. It looks like Yayovsky's finally got himself going. A little look down the outside there from Ravio. Is he going to have the run of it? He may well do. Doesn't quite have the drag though, it seems. He's going to pull back in.
It'll be interesting to see when Yayovsky gets involved with all the fighting there, because he knows he can't let Siggy run away with the win here, because if Siggy would do the same as Olja did in Sebring and take both wins, then there is a big chance that he will be champion, and Yayovsky losing the lead here, even though he is our current championship leader.
Looks like he's just waiting to see what's going to happen here, because you see Payapev is slowing down a little bit here. They're actually both going to get past him. Payapev really dropping back, so that it's looking very good for Wisniewski. Oh my god, it's all gone very wrong there.
There goes Pev.
Yeah, that's Payapev just getting dumpstered by, I think it was Ravio. I'm not sure Wisniewski or Ravio, but either way he got stuck in the barrier.
Not the right move to make here. It's so crucial under braking to keep everything in check, and it seems like both drivers not really sure where to put the car though. Jonas Raiva now closing the gap onto Wisniewski, and then the back that's Payapev, who lost all these positions previously. So Wisniewski now on a podium spot in 3rd, but Jonas Raiva definitely doesn't want to let the Williams driver get away with it. Yayovsky, who won 1 spot due to the wall contact by Payopath a bit earlier, while Payopath still slotted into 6th, so it's not that bad for him. He's still there, up close to the top 5.
So Ravio's going to try and make a move. He's managed to get past Wisniewski, but will he be on the outside here? Looks like should get cut out. Yayovski is also sneaking on through, but they may well be going 3 wide in a second. No, managing to squeeze on through. So Wisniewski drops down to 5th. Yayovski finally makes his move, but he's only got back into 4th place where he started the sprint race.
I love how Yayovski looks calm and collected with all of his moves now. He's never the one initiating, but he's always there to take another position to get through. I think he's really working hard on just making sure that the car survives race 1 and that he scores in whatever way, just to make sure that Kevin Seegy doesn't have it too easy to actually make the move. In the background, we see Martin Durland now entering the top 10. That's the Singularity Audi R8 that tries to make a move around the Butterball Motorsport McLaren, and
that was tight.
Still not done. Look at them going, and Payopath nearly losing control there, sliding the Porsche, the rear engine not helping at that moment, but keeping everything under control. He's still in there, and he's still in front of Brzezinski.
Yeah, back into 6th place as well, so he's managed to fight his way back. He's looked very quick, but he's also been making some mistakes, which is what's caused him to come down from 2nd place back down to 6th place, but very quick it seems in the Porsche.
Well, Wisniewski and Pev picked up a cut track on the exit of that long left-hander, and actually Ravio's bumped up to 5th.
Seems like we're now creating a new fighting group. These have been 2 different groups before, while Payopath's launching another attack on Yunus Ravio. Yeah. So for Payopath, it's basically running on 120% every single corner, passing the Sunshine McLaren. That worked well. Oh, that was close with the Williams right behind him. Martin Durland now with this Audi R8 tried to get involved after taking down Sibishara, but they're now side by side in the next one. Look at that group fighting here all over the place, and Shara makes the move onto Durland. Durland fighting back, gets the inside for the next turn, and that's Tomola already in the background as well. So I'm pretty sure the next, let's say 5 minutes, none of these guys will actually have a moment to breathe.
So while that's all been happening, it's been a little bit mixing up at the front. So Ravio suddenly dropped down to 6th place. Didn't see exactly what happened between him in the battle, because Yayovski's now up to 3rd place, past Wisniewski. So looking great for the points leader. Yayovski is obviously closing back in on the Schufler now. So he's got past the BMW seems to be stepping up now with just 3 minutes to go in this race. You can see just how cluttered it is at the moment with Shah in 8th place, but my word, there is a couple of piranhas nipping at his heels and wants a bit more points.
Yayovski now up to 3rd. That means Kevin Seegy not winning that many points compared to Erhan Yayovski, the guy that he wants to beat here for the championship. While the train is going down, slipstream again. Shara, Durland, Tomola, Kastop, and Shimachip. That's the first time that we see Kastop now getting involved. That's the next Singularity driver. Another R8, so they got 2 of the same cars in the field here, and then it's Simoncic right behind that. In the burst, they're side by side, and seems like there was enough. Shara get a hit from the burst. Audi in the background, it seems, and off he goes. That could have been his best result the entire season, and it seems like this run coming to an end now.
You hate to see it, that's for sure, but clearly got collected there by someone. Meanwhile, we're seeing Payopath. This is where he got put in the wall, so just a little turning too soon by Ravio there. You can see that's when Yayovski and Wisniewski all went through. So Payopath didn't see what it was, obviously getting caught in the drag there. Meanwhile, back in the actual race, obviously you can see Tomola now up to 8th place because of the Shiara Ensign. He's obviously getting caught in the drag as well, so it looks like we're going to see more here with Martin Durland up behind him.
Well, Wisniewski's back up into 3rd, having got past the Yayovski. Yayovski. So I'm currently watching that one go on while everything else is going. I've got like 5 different windows watching different things as Yoni Tomola and Jimmy Nizula's watching Yoni Tomola go off against Yoni Simoncic and oh, here we go. Where did he come from?
That's Martin Durland next to Tomola. I think they slightly touched coming out of the corner, but it worked out for Tomola, winning another position. Now he is up to 8th currently. By the way, Shara slotted in 19th again after the crash that we had on screen before. Erhan Yayovski lost the position to Wisniewski though.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting ready to make his move. Obviously, with just, a minute left to go in this race before they hit the line. That was Kastrop, so he caught Shiara, yeah. I don't know if he could really do much about that, because he was just sort of I don't know, kind of speared him in the back maybe. So we'll leave that one to the stewards at the moment. The race is definitely hotting up. Obviously, we're coming to the close of the sprint race. Clearly, Kevin Siggy long out in the lead. Wisniewski and Yayovski, that's going to be the important points they're looking for. Yayovski wants to try and maintain what he can with Siggy hot on his heels. I don't know when he's going to have to drag down the main straight to try and work it once again.
Last 20 seconds of the race though, and Yayovski is still working hard on getting back onto the podium after he lost it to Nikita Wisniewski. Kevin Siggy by now has a 3.2 second gap between him and Arne Schoenfeld, so that will be an uncontested win for him, I would say. The clock is running out. He won, so he will cross the line and get another race win here in the sprint race at Le Mans, but not everyone else has settled yet.
Looking further down the field, you can see Yayovski is obviously done and dusted. He's well away from Nurburgring, who actually ended up down in 10th place. So Simičić at the moment is in 10th place as they are approaching the line. We'll see whether Nisula decides to try and send it. I don't think he will. Almost unlikely, as I say that. It's getting a little bit close.
Let's see if anything happens in the last lap, but I can't really see Siggy making any mistake, to be honest. Did quite well previously.
Well, backwards. What's going on? Is he blown? Is he blown his engine?
It seems like he lost losing a lot of power on the straight here. Tourmaline really crashed into that.
Let's have a look.
Into that Porsche. I'm sorry. Now everyone's slipstreaming again. Johnny Simic is trying to win a few positions. He might even pass his the two Singularity cars. Might pass Tourmaline here in this McLaren. Oh, that was the first car in the back, not another Singularity car. It was Simic and Martin Durland.
I don't think Pev's blown doesn't run out of fuel because it's happened on more sand. So
he's stopping. There's no doubt about it.
Fuel would be really hurtful right now.
That would be bad if it was fuel.
I mean, it may make sense because he was absolutely smashing everyone for pace up the top there. If it wasn't for the mistakes he's made, he definitely would have been up in. He really was in second place, right? Putting a challenge on Siggy, so maybe just ran a little light. Yayovski still putting pressure on Wisniewski, but it looks like it's not going to happen for him unless he can make something really work for him. He's got the drag at the moment on Wisniewski as he follows him. Is he going to be able to pull out on time or not? It's right on the drag. This is the chance. Now or never. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Pev's still going. He's dropping the clutch. He's still got an engine. I reckon he's underfueled the car and he's trying to creep round to score some points.
Oh dear.
Actually, he might have thought, 24th.
Yeah, he might have thought that we ended the lap earlier, but it didn't happen so far. Well, we look quickly into the replay, but Yayovski is now right behind Wisniewski, both going down the straight, so there might be a chance now for the BMW driver, the quickest BMW in the field and the championship contender, Yayovski from AAA Esports, to make a move onto the Williams Esport driver. Beautiful slow motion there, player path catching his Porsche. Once again, beautiful car control that we see there, but I really want to make sure that we catch everything that's happening now in the last lap, as Kevin Siggy will not be under any pressure, but Wisniewski is, because Yayovski is still all over him.
Yeah, Ravio as well in 6th. He's all over the back of Brzezinski as well, so we'll keep our eye on that one. Simičić also under pressure from Drilling continually, as he has been throughout the race. Yayovski now is going to try and make his move. Looks like he's pulled out just in the right time. This should be perfect for him. Up into 3rd. He's going to be on the outside here, though. Don't think he's going to be able to make it stick. Is he going to try and cut back? I don't think he's got a chance to. No. So Wisniewski will hold it. That's most likely his challenge gone. Brzezinski, meanwhile, doing the same with Ravio.
Yeah,
getting a little twitchy. He's gone a little too much. Make sure he doesn't click Ravio. Ravio will go through. So Brzezinski couldn't quite fight back.
Yeah, we also got Martin Dillon under pressure by Jimmy Nisula. That's 8th and 9th. Another fighting group. Well, we see Kevin Siggy coming in for another sprint race win for McLaren Shadow. And with that, really making sure the underlining that he wants to be our first GT Pro Series champion, taking all the points available in sprint. That should be a 20, if I'm not mistaken, here in the sprint race. Arne Schoenfeld coming 2nd, Nikita Wisniewski 3rd, Yayovski 4th. Jonas Raivu managed to hold on to 5th in front of Brzezinski, and then it's Johnny Simičić, Martin Durland, Jimmy Nisula, and Yuri Kastup. So a lot of drivers from outside the top 10 that managed to get into the top 10. And then it's Peter Bjorlak, Jan van der Heide, who needs to score a lot of points to stay in GT Pro Series for Season 2, and then Shara, Capit, and Pinto for the top 50.
Yeah, so looking obviously down the list, you can see Tourmaline, Panzer, both went with fuel. Pyro Pev, I got a feeling it's got to be Fuel who's still limping round. But yeah, clearly, obviously with the race not quite finishing, I think Siggy just went over the line when the time ran out, so which is why we had that extra lap, and I think that just caught so many people off guard.
Well, the points have been tallied up right now. As it stands, Haniowski 949, Kevin Siggy 931. That's close.
It will be. Like, we really need to monitor the points going into the main race, because that will be the main storyline here. Also just waiting for the updates to see how it was round, because, for example, Jan van der Heide, who scored really strongly in this one, ranked 12 in the sprint race, he is on 26th, same points as Shara, so Shara will definitely lose a position in the overall standings, which would send Shara down like out of Pro, and Jan van der Heide would go to relegation. Ferris Stanley, where is he? Oh, in this race, he came 20th. So he was 11 points in front of van der Heide. So there's a lot of movement in the rear of, in the back of our points tables, basically. But Jojovski and Siggy, I would say that's still open. Especially with Tomola, with Tomola getting a lot of points, even though we're starting far back.
Yeah, Van der Heide has jumped up to 23rd, so he's out of the relegation zone for now, but he's in the relegation playoff place. Nuno Pinto and Ziggy Shara have dropped down, but I think we're more concerned with what's happening at the top. So I think Siggy has to beat Jovski by so Siggy would want to win and Jovski 4th or below, I think. So basically, they need a repeat of this race.
I mean, it's 6 points difference between Jojovski and Siggy just from the sprint race results, right? Siggy scored 20 and 14 were scored by Jojovski. So he's still in the lead. Definitely. Let's see with drop round if that's still the case for him. Well, we won't see if drops are correctly until the end of main race though. We don't know if someone needs to drop Le Mans.
Siggy scored 7 points second race at Sebring. That's his worst result so far. So Siggy needs to score 7 points or more. Yeah, we're not going to see what's happened until it's actually over, because anything can happen over the next 45 minutes. So stick around for that. But regarding your thing about rumours about moving teams and stuff, I've been reliably informed. Where's Discord gone? Hang on. This is I need more screens. Right. That the one that you said was leaving. I think it was Al Sabti, was it? No? Okay. Whoever it was, they're actually going to Roman Grosjean's esports team, R8G. Oh, Matt Richards is typing. He's probably going to tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I saw some announcements about that. So, yeah, that sounds
You had a rumor mill, and then you just gave your source.
Yeah. he needs to work on that for season 2. We'll get that.
From my, it's like the Sky sources. They never tell you who they are.
Yeah, so you thought you'd just give the name straight out there.
Yeah, that's his code name.
Yeah, that's
it's not his real name though.
Yeah, it's not his real name.
Oh dear, race results. Dennis Lin 22nd, 5 laps down. What?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he was running great. I think he was up to 6th,
they all ran out of fuel
until he went completely out. Yeah, ran out of fuel in the end, but was running great until he had that.
Wait!
Accident.
Tomola ran out of fuel as well.
Yes, yeah, Tomola ran out of fuel before Per.
Oh my god!
Tomola and I forget who the other one was. Pastor, Daniel Pastor.
Yeah, Daniel Pastor as well. Yeah. But this changes everything now. I was pretty sure that Tomola actually managed the top 10, but he didn't.
He was in the top 10, yeah, and he obviously ran out of fuel. And again, this is what I was saying. It's like I think everyone got caught off guard, expecting Siggy to maybe be slower. I don't know, or maybe the race to be slower, and expecting him to go over the line, because he went over the line just before the timer ran down. So we actually had another lap.
That's just crazy. It will be interesting to see if they now adapt it to the main race and rather take a bit more fuel and wait a bit more, right? Just to make sure that that don't happen again. I mean, you don't want to be in a car. It happened to me once in a race, running out of fuel. That is horrible, especially for Tomala, who managed to get back from 17th into the top 10. And then now finds himself all the way back, not scoring big. So he will definitely be out of the run for championship.
But that,
So,
obviously we're seeing why he was so fast. Is because he was clearly a lot lighter on fuel than everybody else. But yeah, like you say, Yayovsky, Siggy. So Siggy's going to be starting 4 places behind Yayovsky and needs to finish. What do we figure it out as? 3-4 places ahead of Yayovsky. So he obviously needs a problem there. Clearly, Siggy is the quickest on this track. He smashed it in qualifying, was uncontested in the sprint race. Seems to be very, very good on Le Mans. Not surprising. Everybody races Le Mans. Everybody knows the track inside out. But definitely seems to be hot on it. Like you say, Tormala going down there. Simoncic, I believe, is starting in and around pole position, if I'm not mistaken. I think he may be 3rd on the grid, who's obviously 5th overall in the points. So he could find himself certainly jump in Rudy Van Buren, who's obviously not taking part, as well as probably Tomala. So maybe up to 3rd.
it will be very interesting to see. It's just, I still expected Tomala to have a shot at the championship, but clearly not now with running out of fuel, so it won't happen for him. So it will be between Yayovsky and Siggy. Also, Johnny Simoncic didn't score enough to actually get into this, as he was down by a lot of points. Currently, he would be down by 48 points. There's a maximum of 55 points per round, but we got the sprint race already over, so there's no chance for him to get those 55. Kevin Siggy could score 55, which would put him past Erhan Yayovsky, as he's currently trailing by 18 points. So, yeah, this will be a crazy finish, because we're going into the main race, and it's still open who actually takes the crown.
And obviously, as you've seen, overtaking is obviously a big part of this race, with everybody getting the drag and able to get themselves out there and gain places in the right places. The warm-up is just happening, by the way, if everyone's wondering what's going on. They now have a quick 10-minute warm-up session, and then we'll be into the main race, while obviously they fix the actual starting grid and figure out any possible points deductions, etc., placement deductions that may have to happen. So everybody's just starting to head out onto the track for it.
I wonder if Yunus Radio will pick up one for what happened in that first race, where he may have given a bit of a love tap to I think it was Paya Pev, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the wall, yeah.
So
when that comes through.
There will possibly 2 or 3 penalties coming in for the top 10, right? There is this incident with Payapath. There is the one from Yuri Castor, who clearly rear-ended the car of Shara. So he is in the top 10, so he might drop out of that. And
that's on top of Brzezinski and Pev getting one for the last round as well.
Yeah, true. Wow, this will be a lot of work for everyone. So all get your calculators out. Everyone in chat, YouTube, Twitch chat, all get your calculators out. Let's give them another look at the standings before we head into the main race, so everyone is aware of what's happening. This is the very first final of the GT Pro Series, and I have to say, I'm super happy that we got 6 rounds and still no champion. Because as with Motorsport in general, right, you always fear that you might go into this and you got a champion after 4 rounds, 3 rounds, things that happen. But we don't. We're still here. Last race, last main race, 45 minutes to go, and we still don't have a champion. It could be AAA Esports with Erhan Yayovsky, or it could be McLaren Shadow with Kevin Siggy. So it will be very interesting to see. Unfortunately, in this standings, you see Rudy van Buren, but he's not with us here in Le Mans, so he will not score any points. Johnny Tomala with the DNF in the previous race will also not be in champion contention anymore. Johnny Simoncic didn't score enough points in the sprint race, so also no chance for him. That means all the others are just running for, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I mean, there's still money on the line, right?
Well, Simoncic has absolutely got a chance for 3rd right now, because he's going to be starting, I think he's starting 3rd or 2nd. He's somewhere around there. I know he's up there with the contenders. Oh, we get a nice in-car view from Jimmy Nisula. We don't get them often in the races itself.
Yeah, just looking at the standings right now. Obviously, we're not going to know anything concrete until after this next race is over, because it might be someone's drop round, for instance. But currently, Erhan Yovski, AAA Esports, 942 points. Kevin Siggy, McLaren Shadow, 931. So still all to play for over this next race. But crucially, Yovski will be starting the race ahead of Siggy.
All interesting to see those two fight directly on the track. Yovski knows that he just needs to make sure that Kevin Siggy doesn't pass him, and then everything will be good. But if Siggy makes the pass, then both need to run for the front of the pack. Definitely, they need to be up front to ensure that they get the championship.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the start goes as well. If you remember, Siggy dropped it and left everyone for dust. Everyone was caught napping. Yayovsky went back, I think, 3 places from the start. So he's got to make sure that doesn't happen, because Siggy will be right on his heels if it's the case. Obviously, we also saw, I forget, it was second place, Arnie. Arnie dropped back a few as well with Peyo Pev getting up there. So the start definitely could be one to watch. Obviously, we'll see exactly how it works out. But that's... Oh my word. The final race of the season, gentlemen. What a season it has been.
It was absolutely amazing. This is the first ever GT Pro Series, and obviously also the first ever GT Challenge Series. And it is a series that should stick for the next years. That's at least our plan here at Studio 397 to ensure that we have a pretty good professional GT racing series for everyone out there. So when Season 2 comes, then all the new drivers can sign up for GT Challenge and qualify for the different splits there. And then same there, after Season 2, quickest guys of GT Challenge will move up to GT Pro. So the first season had some invited drivers in GT Pro and some that qualified. After this season, and Season 2, Pro will only be filled with all the guys that ran for the spots here, right? There will be no one that was invited and then came without any effort into GT Pro. So it will be very interesting to see how that works out in Season 2. But Season 1, every single race, I thought it couldn't get better, and then the next race was even crazier, tighter, even better battles. So I think we can't complain at all about the action we had to commentate on screen, right?
Absolutely, and even those that are possibly going to get relegated, we don't know yet. I'm looking at Dennis Lin, Peyo Pev, Van der Heide. All these guys have just had a great performance. Even Chiara, I guess you can throw in the mix there, other than when he got knocked out. He could have been out of it by now, for all we know. But even the guys that are close to the drop have always been in there with a chance at a race, a win. You know, that's how tight this entire grid is. What, 31 plus we had racing throughout the season. It has been fantastic.
But I think Dennis Lind got saved by his great run at Imola the other week, where I think he was like 4th and then 2nd in the 2 races. So that pulled him straight out of the relegation zone, given how rough his first 2 rounds were. So he's done pretty well to turn it around over the course of the season, as we see Yuri Kazdorp in pole position currently in the Audi.
Yeah, I just want to highlight the starting order that you guys see on the screen right now is not the correct one. Obviously, it shows Kevin Siggy starting, and Aiden is absolutely right. It's Yuri Kazdorp leading the field. Then Jimmy Nisula, Martin Dillland is on row 2 with Johnny Simicic. Then Jakub Brzezinski and Yunus Raivio, Erhan Yayovsky in 7th, and Nikodem Wisniewski on 8th. And then it's Arne Schönfleet 9th with Kevin Siggy in 10th. So don't get confused. The starting order that you see happen from the sprint race, I assume that the wrong one was pulled up, but that can happen here with all the screens and all the action to follow and everything to bring onto your screen, so apologies for that. But nevertheless, we will have a great start into main race. 45 minutes of racing action here at Le Mans, and it's an Audi R8 GT3 that will open up the main race.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the clock in the corner. It will be a 45-minute race, and it will be all on Yuri Kazdorp to start things off. And it looks like he's getting ready to go already. Just about holding them up, waiting for his chance to drop it, and away we go. So Kazdorp, and that's a great start already from Martin Drillen. He's instantly passing Nisula, but keep your eye on Kevin Siggy. He's managed to hold into 9th. Now he's up into 7th. Has he managed to get past? Yes, he has. He's passed Yayovsky already. So he's already managed to squeeze on past. He's on the outside, though, so I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to hold grid position as he squeezes through the chicane. He is. Oh, they nearly got collected by each other, but he is right in front of Yayovsky. That's exactly what he needed. Let's see where he can go from here.
Kevin Siggy, that was crucial for him to now overcome Yayovsky, because that will help him a lot here running for the championship. In the back, I saw Dennis Lind and Shara getting off. Also, Shara lost his rear wing, so 2 drivers off in lap number 1. But up front, it's still Yuri Kastop, Martin Dillon, Singularity leading the main race here in front of Nisula and Simicic. And with Kevin Siggy now being right in front of Ern Yayovsky, that is the big fight to watch out for. Even though we have Wisniewski and his teammate Brzezinski right now also following in slipstream. Right behind that, that's the McLaren Shadow car and the AAA BMW, the ones to watch right now.
Yeah, the 2 Williams, they're battling right in front of him. And obviously they need to be careful they don't get collected by this battle between Siggy and Yayovsky that's going to continue, I think, throughout the next 45 minutes unless something tragic happens. Obviously, a big part of this can be the drag. You're going to see a lot of people dragging all the way down. You can see Pyopev just getting a little peek over there. You can see Arnie looks like he's making a move as well, as he's going to squeeze on through, but he's obviously way down the back there, so not in the greatest of positions for him at the start there. But look at this, you can see Siggy still trying to push Yayovsky all over the back of him, and they've got to be careful. So Ravio's the leader of the pack, with Brzezinski and Wisniewski, the 2 Williams drivers, right behind him.
Erlen was bump drafting Kazdorp down the first part of North Stand to give him a bit of a boost, but I don't think that's worked out too much as Jimmy Nizula's coming back at them now.
Look at that. 2 white once again in the front, and it seems like Nizula managed to get onto second, sending Martin Dillon down to 3rd. Right behind him is Johnny Simic, is already waiting to get involved in this fight. It seems like Yuri Kastop can't really spread the lead like Kevin Siggy did in the sprint race. We'll have a lot harder live. I have to say though, Yayovsky is still right behind Kevin Siggy. I actually overlooked him in the leaderboard. I thought he dropped down somewhere, but he's still there. And Jimmy Nisula, he's now going for the lead here, passing Yuri Kastop, coming onto the straight. So the 2 Singularity Audis now not being in charge of main race any further. And Satellite Racing, I think this is the first time that we see Satellite Racing actually leading a race.
Absolutely, this is a great start from them. Obviously getting past the brothers Grimm of Kastrop and Drillen. Further back, obviously, Siggy's still holding steady. We'll keep our eye on that one as it goes on your screen. You can see Nisula just with Yuri Kastrop drafting right up behind him, and the drafting is the name of the game. And speaking of, I think Siggy's starting to slowly shake Yayovsky a little bit. There's definitely a bit more space, but he's right back on his bumper now as they continue. And the 2 Williams have backed off a little bit from Ravio.
Nisula side by side here, touching the grass slightly, losing the position to Yuri Kastop. So Kastop back in the lead. And once again, in between the sandwich here of the Singularity drivers. But look at that, Simic isn't even coming closer to those top 3 right now. It seems like they've got great pace even while fighting.
Yeah, Nizula got put really out of place in the Porsche cars, and that allowed Dillon to come right back. But none of those 2, well, neither of those 2 Audis have managed to make that much of a dent in it, as Kazdorp's now pulled out about half a second lead as they go across the line to start the next lap.
I mean, the biggest part to remember is this is still a 45-minute race. You don't make your lunging move as I say that. Who is that going to try and through? Drillen's trying to get past Nisula. Is he going to be on a hammer? I don't think so. Nisula should have the position. Yeah, he's going to have to give that one back up. The question is, does anybody bite back through? As I'm looking at Simicic maybe trying to make a move on him. And who's that trying to squeeze up the side? It is Ravio. Ravio having a look as well.
Oh, this train as they come through the sort of the second of the chicanes before they head up towards Tetra Rouge. This is going to be one of the places where they're going to pick up cut tracks if they're not careful on the outside here. And on the inside, as it so happens, it's very, 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 what's the word? Strict. We'll just leave it at strict. Because you can gain so much of an advantage by flying wide as here comes Simicic on Deerland. Bump draft.
Yep, bumping, just keeping him going. Make sure he can get down that straight. Also looking at Yayovsky, he's still drafting right up behind Siggy, who did have a little look in there. You can see Ravio having a little peek. Simicic having a peek. Nothing given though. Nobody going defensive, so nobody again forcing the errors as the two Williams continue just to follow on behind. I think one of those Williams makes a move. That's when we're going to see Siggy trying to have a look. He did have a little peek when the whole battle between Drillin and Nisula and Simincic was taking part. You could see they were all having a look to try and take an advantage. That was once again, we see Ravio on the backside of Simincic, just waiting for someone to make their move and pull the draft out, and that's exactly what's happening.
And so crucially to position your car correctly going onto the straight, and even side by side once again, Nisula and Durland. These two have been side by side ever so often. I mean, it's not NASCAR these guys are doing, and Nisula now on the receiving end, he's dropping down a lot of positions with that mistake. That's what I want to talk about, basically. It's positioning that decides where you will be in the end, and Jimmy Nisula is not positioned well right now.
Arnie's going for it on Yayovsky, having a little peek down the outside there, not working. It's getting very messy as they're going to be going too wide here through the chicane. Everybody has to try and figure their position out. Very close to bumping one another. The Williams have both managed to get past Nisula, so Nisula's dropped right back there, down into 7th place. And you can see it's causing problems as Arnie has a little peek once again, and Yayovsky not going to work out this time as Siggy tries to get past Nisula as well. Nisula dropping back.
And he's now right in front of Kevin Siggy and Ern Yayovsky, so that's the championship fight he gets involved now with. Seems like a Siggy and...
Siggy's going to... Oh, that's at Indianapolis. That's not a good move there.
He stepped back. That was fine, not risking anything, because he knows as long as he's in front of Yayovsky, there's still a chance for him to win the championship. But he needs to get rid of Yayovsky, and he needs to get more points, way more points. Than
he needs to be 4 places, I believe, right? Yeah. 4 places ahead, so he needs Arnie, who's actually, while this is happening, by the way, you can see they're collecting, they're getting closer and closer. The back markers, I say back markers, it's 8th and 9th backwards. It's not really back markers, but the pack is closing. There was a little gap after the start, but you can see the pack is closing. The drafting's obviously starting to bring them closer together. Nobody really wanted to make force the error effectively down those big straights drafting and so pulling themselves to the side because they know they're probably going to get past in the meantime. As Siggy continues to chase. Nice little view of them all passing by. There's poor old Dennis Lind. He's obviously had an error ride at the start, which is why he's back down in 23rd.
Yeah, very unfortunate start for him here into this main race. Didn't really work well for the Bentley driver. Nisula tries to get back all the positions that he lost there with a slight mistake. Was running a bit far on the inside. Car starts sliding, and then it went. Being returned so far. Kevin Siggy at least now got a small gap between him and Yayovsky. But it won't be enough to really pull away, especially with Slipstream as soon as we hit the straight once again. The two Williams drivers working well together, it seems, but they're trying to overcome Martin Durland here. And then Jonas Ravio, because Yuri Kastorp, he managed to spread the lead now to 2.1 seconds. So if the guy's not starting to pitch up soon, it might be the end. On the other hand, 45 minutes, and we saw all kind of crazy things happening in the last main races.
Still looking further down its position. I think everybody's kind of settled themselves in now. We're looking at that sort of stage for probably the next 10, 15 minutes where people will sort of settle themselves in. The last 20 minutes probably going to be pretty crazy here. As I say that, I see them going too wide down the straight, and look at this draft that Drillin's got there. Both the Williams just blasting on past. Nicely done from Wisniewski.
Siggy's going 3 wide. Siggy 3 wide into the first ball session game. Oh, that was a bit of a nudge.
It's a little tight. I'm not too sure who's going to come out on top. Yayovsky back down into 10th place because of it. Siggy is going to get through. That looks like he's going to get past Nisula as well. So Siggy does find himself suddenly 3-4 places ahead of Yayovsky. So it actually worked out very well. It was very testy down that straight.
I don't know why Siggy's flashing at Simincic. It looked like he turned into Simincic on that first part of Mulsanne. He's going to try and go down the inside of Simincic into the second Mulsanne chicane, but Arne Scomfleet's all over the back of the McLaren as the brake hard for the second Mulsanne chicane, and that's Siggy up into 6th. Yayovsky is in 9th, I think.
That's so well.
That was really well. It was a super risky maneuver. I thought he might end his championship run right here, but now with the gap between him and Yayovsky, he is in a position to actually really become champion. He just needs to try to catch up to Brzezinski and Wisniewski that we have on the screen on the left side, and they're still fighting with Martin Durland. But if they lose more time with that fight, Siggy might close that gap early enough to really pull away for Yayovsky. Look at that, how close he is already. He will be in the slipstream. off both McLarens from Williams and Martin Dolan in front of them. So yeah, if Arne Jajovski doesn't go full aggressive right now, he might lose it with just being passive.
I tell you what, I'm no race controller, but that was about as close as you can get to cutting, I think, there for Siggy. That was very tight on that chicane.
Yeah, the next corner is Indianapolis, so you'd have to be really brave, really crazy, or both to try and overtake it. It's like Jajovski getting bumped about by Simincic back there. Oh, don't do that.
Sending it.
Oh my second part of Indy.
Oh, Kevin Siggy.
That
was absolutely delightful. What a move on Martin Drillen. And as you said, you got to be crazy to do it. I don't think he was expecting it.
Kevin Siggy definitely on fire right now. He knows that might be his only chance to really run away early in the race and then hope he can just basically settle somewhere and run with the train. If he catches up now to the Williams that had a bit of a gap now with Durlan dropping back, then there will be a proper gap. But also Jajovski moved up, so he's an 8th right now. It's only 2 cars between him and Kevin Siggy.
Yeah, and it needs to be more, but Kevin Siggy's going for it. And the 2 Williams drivers, by the way, Wisniewski, obviously, and who won last race, and Brzezinski, they are doing a really brilliant tag team. You know, they've been working well through the field. Obviously, we've been focusing on what's been going on with Kevin Siggy, but they have been working it as a duo and putting the pressure on. So Ravio, obviously, is going to be the next on the list, is about 2 seconds ahead of them. So now it's down to whether Siggy can keep up with these Williamses. It does look like he's getting a bit of pressure on him from Arne, but let's have a look at this replay. Here we go. Kevin Siggy sending it.
We did saw it since we cut into replay, but Siggy just went right on the last corner, nearly threw away his McLaren here. Wow, gave me a heart attack there while we see his move once again, which is absolutely mind-blowing. Cold as ice there,
I think
passing.
That's the second best overtake of the season, I reckon.
Are we looking at Pio Peps maybe as the best, or
Oh, Jajovski made a mistake as well.
Well, you can see Siggy's mistake has obviously put Arne Schönfeld right on his back, and Jajovski up to 7th now as well, so he's got past Drillen, so he is working his way through the field. And as you said, I think it needs to be, what, 3 places, maybe 4 places for Siggy ahead of Jajovski for a chance to take the title. So even if he wins it right now, if Jajovski manages to keep station with him, that will be a problem. But it does look like Jajovski is slowly getting left behind. Yeah.
Really, it's like I was dying that moment. I thought after that move by Kevin Siggy that he throws it away on the last corner. Well, currently Arne Schönfeld is making the move with the Porsche pulling alongside the McLaren of Shadow here and passing Kevin Siggy for another one, which brings Siggy and Jajovski back together.
It's a loving relationship that's going to keep going for the next 32 minutes, I believe, as Jajovski sees him once again. So despite the absolute brilliant maneuvers that Siggy's been sending, he finds himself once again with the BMW in his mirrors. And I don't think he's going to be too happy with that. By the way, Arne's come from even further back, I believe, than these. So Arne's really putting some work in with this Porsche. The question is, as we saw with POPF, how is it fueled? How are we going to be looking down the end of the race? Because with the sprint race, people made mistakes. Let's see in the last sort of 5 minutes of this race how this stands in terms of fuel.
They also might save a bit of fuel when they standing behind in slipstream, trying to coast before breaking into the turns. But God, it's just crazy to see that now everyone that is in front of Kevin Siggy, right? Because he got Jajovski once again right on his tail. Everyone in front is an enemy to Kevin Siggy because he can't wait. He has to make moves quickly.
A little bit of sideways there from Arne in the Porsche. The rear wheel wanting to get loose of him. The 2 Williams drafting themselves, keeping themselves in 3rd and 4th. Great position for the both Wisniewski and Brzezinski. Going back to what we talked about last week, we still haven't had a back-to-back race winner. We nearly had it with Rudy Van Buren. Obviously, Wisniewski put paid to that last week. Last race, I keep saying last week. It feels like last week. The race has come around so quickly. Are we going to see maybe Wisniewski maybe put a move on it? But he's got a bit of work to do. He is closing the gap, though, on Yunus Rabiot.
We had that winner, though. Not in GT Pro. We had in GT Challenge. And Mickey Hoyer, who obviously took a win, the full win in Sebring, with sprint and main race on his Audi R8 for Burst Esports. The same team that Simincic is running for. Well, we see Kevin Siggy once again showing himself in the rearview mirror of Arne Schönfeld. Not enough, though, to start an attack yet. But as said, he needs to move quickly. He needs to run away from Nurburgring, who is creeping up to the McLaren shadow car again.
Yunus is slowly closing on Yuri Kastrov, actually. You can see he's down to a second gap now. It was nearly 3 seconds at one point. And going back to last race, obviously we saw similar with Rudy Van Buren. He was way out in front and then suddenly started dropping time. Now whether Yuri's just maybe pacing himself here, as we were talking about, maybe keeping on fuel and stuff like that, maybe seeing how it works out, but at the moment he's closing. It's down to a second now. As I say that, it's just shaved half a second off in the last sector, so that is a big chase now up in the top two.
Yunus riding obviously without any slips to help. What?
Siggy struggling to get past Scumfleet at the minute by the looks of things.
Scumfleet, to be honest,
unless he's saving fuel behind him. Oh, there goes Scumfleet.
I think it ran a bit wide there, but I wanted to say that Arne Scumfleet is one of the drivers that are, I think, overlooked too much. He had some really strong races here in the GT Pro Series, but now slotting behind Kevin Siggy, and with that, finally getting Nurburgring off Siggy's back. But there's no one else to attach to now, because Brzezinski and Wisniewski, the two McLarens, are running away, so there's no slipstream available for Kevin Siggy.
It's like being in the Indy 500 on your own, and you just can't catch up to anybody else because they're all slipstreaming each other around. But here comes Scumfleet again, back at Kevin Siggy. They've got to be so careful not to make contact here. Oh, there's a bit more bump drafting here.
Yeah.
This is like, we need GT Pro NASCAR. This is what we need.
Giving him a hand down the straight there, maybe. There's a little bit of discussions between the two, I don't know, but Nurburgring is obviously keeping tabs on everything that plays out here. Still plenty of time. We've got 30 minutes nearly left of this race, so lots to go with here as they do continue. And speaking of, Yuri Kastrov continue to be caught by Yunus Ravio on the first and second place. So Ravio is slowly hauling him in as I watch Nurburgring and Arnie having a little peek. Arnie's going to have a look, and he should be able to actually hold it down there with that draft, and the through will go once again.
I think Nurburgring's just chilling. Because I think he knows if he just sticks in behind him, he's won.
He can be more passive than Kevin Siggy, absolutely agree on that. But we saw it when Siggy made that move and got around everyone, right? All of a sudden, it was crucial for Nurburgring to get back onto Siggy. It worked for him this time, but we don't know what happened.
Yeah, they're just trading drafts at the moment. Draft, you go past me here, I'll pass you on the next corner. They're just trying to figure out, obviously calculate for the next 30 minutes exactly who's going to be in the lead by the end of it.
I just didn't know that the Tour de France also runs through Le Mans, but hey, that's fine. Oh, that was the mistake by Arne Scumfleet, how we lost that position to Kevin Siggy going on to the straight.
And here we go again, the trading places once again. Scumfleet's just going to squeeze on by. I just wonder, with this obviously trading places back and forward, at what point Nurburgring's going to say, oh, I think I'll have that place as well, if I don't mind, just sail on through. As it is, he's, as you say, he's just chilling back there. He's no reason to risk his race, risk any connections, no cutting, no, just keep station, happy as you like, win the championship from where he is.
That's it sound so easy to win a championship.
By the way, while this was happening, can I just draw attention to the fact we missed the actual leader change. Yuri Kastrov is now in second place. Yunus Ravio, who obviously has been catching him, did manage to get past.
I wonder if that's the first time Yunus Ravio is leading. No, it wasn't. He had I think he started from pole in one of the previous races. But it might be the first time during an actual live race that he took that lead for Sancho. That will make it. Aiden, did I just see you cheering for Yunus Ravio in the chat there? No, I saw that.
That was my wife.
Sure.
She's a big fan.
Oh dear. But yeah, Yuri
Kastrov,
no chance there to defend against Ravio, it seems. How far? Oh, Nikita Wisniewski and Brzezinski getting closer there. So the Audi, we know that the R8 really drops pace as soon as there is no slipstream. And I think he might lose contact to Ravio, and with that, he will have both Williams, esports drivers, right behind him, just waiting to make a move, and they probably can right on the next straight.
With Arnie just making that big mistake back there, I wonder if Siggy's going to be able to break away from the draft. I think he's still a bit too close at the moment, but definitely it was a big mistake from Arnie there. That Porsche just feel a little bit more twitchy, the rear wheel drive. thrown it out a little bit, but I don't think he's quite got ahead to get out of the draft yet, has he?
That gap's opened up between Siggy and
Yeah.
Scotland right now, isn't it? So
He made an error, he went on the grass.
yeah, I mean Tetra Rouge, if you get the decent run, I mean that's really close to track limits there from Kevin Siggy, but I think Scunfleet will be back up on his back, coming out of the first Mulsanne chicane and try and make a move into the second one again. So, I mean, it's like watching DRS in Formula One, this, isn't it? Look at that, he's just catching right
Just
up to him.
straight, sails up and then past he goes, yeah. But that's actually, they've given a bit of a gap to Yayovsky now because of this. And he's not actually got enough to stick it either, yeah.
At the same time, I think Scunfleet's looking at it and going, I don't want to be the one that wipes out a potential championship winner here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Yovsky's just playing the Alain Prost thing. He's just doing the bare minimum right now.
Yeah, if he stays around top 5 or manages to get 5th position, he can basically just wait there. Because I don't think it will be enough for Kevin Siggy, even if we would win and get the entire 55 points, because it's 37 points that Kevin Siggy needs. No, 35 that Yovsky needs.
Yeah, Kastrop just dropping back there.
It's just been tag teamed by him. They just both of them just sailed past. So I think Siggy will grab another one here.
Yeah, we'll see if Kastrop can hang on to the backside of the Williams or whether he's just going to fall away. Because, like you say, they just the tag team with the Williams have been working very well in this race. They've with the way it's gone so far for them, they've really worked it well from where they started to the position they're in. And no mistakes made by either of them at the moment. Obviously, been drafting each other, keeping each other going. Kastrop's just going to hang on to the tailpipe of the McLaren right now.
I want to check where he gets 26 points in this race.
But you trying to do some on-air math right now?
Yeah,
that's
I
a
at least want to get an
dangerous
overview.
thing.
Just do it on the spreadsheet. We'll automatically do it for
no,
you.
no, I'm checking. So he needs to. It is that he needs to come 5th. That's 26 points. He scored 14 in the first race. That gets him on to 40, and that's enough. So as long as Yovsky gets 5th position, Siggy can win. No problem at all. But if Yovsky doesn't get 5th, because there's 25 points for 6th and 24 points for 7th, then Kevin Siggy might take the title. But for that, he would actually need to be in front of everyone right now, and he isn't.
Well, I can tell you the two Williams are gaining on Eunice right now. Ravio is slowly getting there. We talked about Yuri Kastrop having to hang on to the tailpipes. He is slowly falling away, and that will obviously, if he does drop away from the draft, then that's going to start opening things up for Siggy. Siggy himself is trying desperately to break away from the draft of the Porsche behind him, Arne Schoenfeld, but Schoenfeld himself has got Yayovsky sort of now all over him, so maybe in defensive mode rather than looking to attack Siggy. They all go wide.
Both Williams still trying to work together, having Yuri Kastrop right behind them. And Jonas Raivy, you know his time is coming basically now that Wisniewski and Brzezinski can both work together to close that gap to the Sancho McLaren. So I think there's no chance for the Sancho driver here to actually run away in capability basically. And if Yuri plays it smart, he just hangs on to those McLarens and he might find himself once again fighting for the lead of this race.
There are 2 seconds between Kastrop and Siggy right now, so with just over 20 minutes remaining. So it's not over yet, but Siggy pulling away from Scunfleet behind.
20 minutes to go in the race. Looking further down the field. Sula Simoncic down in 9th place now. He has dropped back a little bit, unfortunately, from where he started. Briliac into 10th place. Were both contenders at one point in terms of points. They're certainly up there. Briliac on 8th place. Schoenfeld in 6th place currently in the race, but overall 7th place in the title. He's looking to gain points, but with Wisniewski now in a potential chance at taking 1st place. He's closing the gap on Jonas Ravio. He himself sits in 5th place overall in the championship, ahead behind Tormona, but Tormona is obviously out of this one, so he's going to be a DNF, which means Wisniewski will almost certainly be moving up to 4th, maybe 3rd place overall in the championship.
Once again, that start running. Is that Kevin? That's Van Doren. Yeah, we didn't have him on screen today a lot, or at all. I would say the second team Redline BMW. Rudy Van Doren obviously not in this race, so we won't see the blue BMW. It's normally a race payer path. Is that Porsche a bit damaged already in the front? Is that what we see in there? I think it is.
That's quite a bit of damage on the front of that Porsche, yeah. Oh, that's a huge moment for Al Sabdi there. And just fly on there.
Enough for Payopath to make that move immediately. Kevin Van Doren also might make that pass.
Look at the front. It's the Williams are right on the back of Yunus now. They are within draft limits. They are very much in a chance of taking over. Let's see whether both Wisniewski and Brzezinski can both sail on by Yunus Rabio, who's currently leading this race, and away they go, looking to take that draft, going down the inside. It should be easy as you like. Wisniewski will be passed because Brzezinski follow him through. It looks like he's going to keep the draft. Look, Rabio wants to try and take a slice of it, and he will separate the two Williams for now. And Nikitin Wisniewski, the winner of the previous race, is now in the lead once again here on Le Mans.
It will be hard. We see that Yuri Kastup is struggling to actually keep up with those three McLarens right in front of him, two of them being the newer generation, and Yunus Raivio in the 650S. So if you wonder, wait, these McLarens, they don't actually look exactly the same. That's because it's an old 650S between those 720Ss. But yeah, Kastup down by, I think that's 2 seconds already. So Arne Schoenfeld, Kevin Siggy, and Alan Yoyoski probably close the gap to him soon, because that R8 will not be quick on the straights. Unfortunately, not the strongest car in Le Mans.
So a big error from Siggy, by the way, which is why you see Arne passed him and Yoyovsky right on his bumper. So Siggy making an error back there. Don't exactly know exactly how it was, because while the front runners were overtaking one another, Arne, I mean, he pulled almost a second ahead of Arne Schoenfeld at one point, and you can see he's right back there. But they are closing the gap on Kastrup, so top 4 possibilities, but Yoyovsky still keeping him in check.
Yeah, this is not over. We know that normally the silly time starts 15 minutes left on the clock, right? While Schoenfeld is launching it around the outside on Castor, and that will be enough. Yep, easy
That's
one.
A good move.
Passing, that looked really good, to be honest. Kevin Siggy saw his chance there, but he knows that there's not much he can do right now. He got Yoyovsky still right behind him, so if Yoyovsky stays where he is, and Siggy would just pass everyone right now, then there's still a chance. But it's just now we have those different groups. So at one point, you just don't have any slipstream available anymore.
Ah, that's why.
Oh yeah, that was big off.
Yeah.
Big toe in the gravel. That's going to definitely slow you down. So Arne through, Siggy looking to try and do the same. He's got the draft at the moment. Yoyovsky's just going to watch it play out. Big draft down the straight, pretty much on his bumper. Yoyovsky taking a little peek, almost forcing Siggy to try and make an error, but he's going to be waiting until the last second to duck out just to get the inside. Doesn't fancy it. Ooh, almost brake checked Yoyovsky there.
Well, Brzezinski's penalty from the last round has just been applied, so these guys are going to jump up a position anyway.
He got through though to second place past Yunus Rabio.
Yeah, but you will get that a drive-through penalty, so he will lose all that game forward. It was basically just him helping Nikitin Wisniewski to get up front. Now Wisniewski will be without his teammate very, very soon. That
Siggy
was
through.
close between Siggy and Castor. I was slightly afraid that they might touch, and I think Brzezinski and Raivio had one moment there together. Let's see when he actually does that drive-through penalty. Like when he serves his penalty, then everything in front will change, which means Yoyovsky gets onto 6th position, Castor back into 5th, and then Kevin Siggy up to 4th. So it will be interesting because Yoyovsky is still far away, like not far away, but enough in the back to give Kevin Siggy a chance here to win the title. But for that, Kevin Siggy really needs to start moving right now, and he's kind of losing that momentum that he had earlier in this race where he made the big moves.
With that drive-through penalty, obviously, Rabio, he needs to realize he doesn't need to battle with Brzezinski right now, which is what he's doing. He's been drawn into this battle here. The natural racer in you doesn't want to be done by him, and he's got to be careful they don't collect each other within the race. And so far it's been very clean. Rivio, I got to keep saying his name wrong. Apologies. We do keep throwing it in there. But Kevin Siggy now with Arnie out the way, going to try and make a move once again. So Siggy once again using that draft. We'll see how long it lasts until Arnie gets back past him.
And Siggy now leading that pack. He needs to get back onto Brzezinski to try to get up to Wisniewski. I mean, it is that. They need all that slipstream. If there's no slipstream available, then it's very hard for you to actually close the gap. So it will be interesting to see if Siggy is quick enough to overcome those 3.4 seconds, basically. And Yuyovski is still chilling in 7th, right behind Yuri Kastorp. Not sure if he decides to stay there, or if he doesn't want to pull that BMW alongside Kastorp, but I can't see him just really staying there for the sole purpose of not risking anything.
Well, with 15 minutes to go, I feel like Siggy's going for it. This is time to put the hot laps in, right? He was the pole sitter, he was the sprint race winner. Now or never, really, if he wants this championship, because Yuyovski is sitting in 7th place. Siggy up in 4th place, with Kastrop sort of being a chicane at the moment for Yuyovski. Just going a little wide there. Is he just going to sail on pace? Looks like Kastrop's just giving up his place to Yuyovski there. Didn't even fight for that.
Yeah, that was an easy pass here for Erhan Yuyovski. AAA Esports, they might be on their way to the first GT Pro Series title here. Yuyovski could be the first driver. So far, we don't have team standings, even though I can say that we looked into that, and we're looking into it still. See if there's a chance to come up with a full team leaderboard as well for Season 2, but it will remain a driver-focused championship no matter what. Especially since we saw how well Season 1 played out here with all the action that we had on the screen. Junior Simoncic, he had been the driver to highlight in many races, not so far here in Le Mans, while Arne Schoenfeld and Kevin Siggy still go at each other. I think they have most passes so far in this race.
Ravio back in the lead. Yunus taking over Wisniewski while that was happening, while they were trading places. It does put him back up there. Now, don't forget, Brzezinski has to have a drive-through penalty. So while we're looking at obviously 4th and 5th at the moment, Siggy in 5th and Yuyovski in 6th, they will all be moving up a place whenever that drive-through penalty is set out. I'm just watching Wisniewski and waiting for him to make his move because he's all over the backside of Yunus. And there goes Siggy as well in the background, looking like he's going to make his standard draft move past Arnie, and through he goes once again.
They'll probably keep that going for quite a while now. We've reached the last 13 minutes of the race. Also, just to update, Payer Path obviously got the penalty assigned as well, just like Brzezinski. It's not like they get that in different times. So Payer Path will also need to pull out and get into the pits for a quick drive through. We see the move of Yunus Raivu against Nikitin Wisniewski. So Sunshine driver back in the lead, and I'm pretty sure with that, Aiden will already have a small little celebration. He tries to do that without us noticing.
I am emotionless.
Liar.
It's not over until the fat lady sings. So it's still a good result for Yunus either way.
Well, let's see, Williams once again are putting it through. Wisniewski looks like he will be through. This time Brzezinski will be following him through as well. Ooh, a little tight once again. That's very tight.
That's pure Sisu, that is.
That looked like he shut the door pretty hard there on Yunus and helping Brzezinski get through. That's a slight nudge. Maybe a little hard on the brakes, who knows? But while that's all happening, it does reel in Arnie and Siggy. They are getting closer to this battle now as they continue to trade places.
Yeah, still side by side here, Brzezinski and Yunus Raivu. And we see Arne Schoenfeld and Kevin Siggy in the background. Just really late here. Good turn in, keeping it tight around that curb there. He didn't even touch the curb. Like, he didn't went over it. That was really good maneuver. Keeping the McLaren in check here is not an easy task. Not because it's a McLaren, but just the corners are special, that's for sure. But it also means that Wisniewski is slowly curving away from them, building that lead here for Williams Esports.
Yeah, it's fantastic for the two Williams. Obviously, with Wisniewski could be his back-to-back win, which is the big thing, I think, for him. Look at him obviously being under fire in the scene a little bit over the last few weeks. So to justify a back-to-back GT Pro Series win would be certainly sweet for him in this race. Kevin Siggy and Arne continuing to battle it out with Jajovski, just basically cruising along, watching it all play out. You know, no reason to send it or anything. He can just sit and win this from 6th place, which is exactly what he's looking to do, as Brzezinski once again looks to challenge Yunus. And Ravi just making his car wide.
Wisniewski just running away, but also Arne Schunflick is closing that gap. So I feel that soon we will have an even bigger group fighting around 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. It will be very interesting to see that, because we're reaching the last 10 minutes. We had yellow in sector 1, not sure the why we had that. Anyone go off there?
Well, looks like Brzezinski wants another slice of the pie. Kevin Siggy looking to make the move at the same time as well in the final 10 minutes. And remember, all this could work out. We also have fuel to consider, since we did see a couple of runners in the sprint race running dry in the final lap. We'll see whether it plays a part here in the main race. I'm going to assume a couple of people would have took note of that and maybe gone a little bit more heavier, making sure it doesn't happen to them.
Wonder if we should bet already who's winning here. I was wondering now.
That was contact between Ravio and.
Yeah, and look at that. Arnie's right in the back of
Radio.
Ravio.
Oh, here we go.
Wide.
Getting brought into it. We knew this was going to happen sooner or later, and now Siggy wants a piece of this. This is where he sees his chance, but Arne has managed to get through on Ravio. Siggy looking to follow Arnie's path and maybe even go up the inside and squeeze it through with 3 wide now.
Sam.
As they manage to come through, is it going to be working out in Siggy's favour? I'm not too sure he's got the position. He doesn't. He's going to have to give it up. Oh, that's a little nudge in the back there from Ravio. Arnie manages to hold it steady, and Jajovski just sits back in his armchair watching it all play out.
That was, I just fear that one day someone will spin there. So far, everyone holds on to it nicely. Kevin Siggy had the chance here to maybe pass both, but didn't work out for him in the end. So still Jajovski right behind him. Oh, once again, next try. A lot of slipstream available for Kevin Siggy, but he has to decide for one line.
Edging his bets. I think he's trying to see which way he can go. Oh, hard on the brakes there, and Jajovski got them as well. Jajovski may get past Siggy here. This could be his chance. Siggy won't be able to let him through there. We'll shut the door when it counts, but oh my word, we knew this was going to slowly get brought into this one. Wisniewski, he's looking golden right now. Looks like the race may well be in the bag. Brzezinski obviously is under pressure with Ravio, and now with obviously the top 6 all challenging. I think Yuri Kastrop's dropped well out of this one. Obviously we can forget that, but 6th and up, this is a battle with just 7 minutes remaining in this race. Kevin Siggy desperately trying to wrestle the championship from Jajovski, but this race is not done yet.
I wonder if Jajovski wants to show that dominance and try to pass Kevin Siggy, you know, to just make sure that he was in front of him in the last race. When he lifts the trophy for the very first time. Just saying, there will be trophies actually, not being lifted today though, obviously have to be sent, but there will be trophies for these guys. So that's quite a cool thing to brag about afterwards. And Jajovski, I just saw on one of the other cameras, he went a bit overboard there in the chicanes before going on to start-finish. Lost the BMW slightly, and with that also lost contact to Kevin Siggy. So once again, that is a bigger gap between them, and this is the look out of Nikodem Wisniewski's Williams Esports McLaren. Quite a gap so far, and it's the last 6 minutes. So that might be enough for him to just sail back down now and win, take the main race here in Le Mans.
Brzezinski's also got that penalty, so.
Yeah.
So
it's got to be served this race, right? It's not going to continue through to the next series.
Well, if he doesn't serve it but it's still within the legal limit of serving laps, he'll just get dumped down the field a bit. So that will bring something into play here.
Yeah, with Yayovsky though still on the backside of Siggy, it won't affect championship as far as I'm aware. The question is whether he'll collect anyone in the chaos that may well ensue in the next 5 minutes as Siggy and co continue to draft Schönfeld. They're all looking for a position here. They're all going to see if anyone's going to duck out in the last and maybe dive through. No, everyone's going to hold station. It brings Yayovsky back closer with the drafting of that BMW, slowly closing the door once again after his mistake in the previous lap. As they will continue, Wisniewski well away in the distance now. The top 10 seemingly set in stone. The question is, who is going to be there as Arne Schönfeld tries to make his move on the Williams. Siggy, oh my word! He is sending it. Has he got the pace? That's the question, because he had to put a toe on the grass. He's past Schönfeld. He will be up. He's going to have the inside. The question is, will anyone shut the door? He's got Jonas Rabiot ahead of him. He's got past Wisniewski, and that puts himself 3 places ahead of Yayovsky. That is a move.
But Brzezinski has to serve the penalty, right? So Yayovsky will get position number 5, which should be enough to win it here. But Kevin Siggy is still running. Once again, here's Arne Schönfeld right next to him. We could just glue these 2 cars together. I mean, they're side-by-sides anyway. Each and every time we go there, oh, that looked like Arne Schönfeld was struggling under braking. Oh, and Brzezinski also looked up the inside.
There.
I gotta say, you know, credit to these guys. There has been some beautiful racing in it. It was all being clean. There's so many times where we thought they were going to collect each other, and they've managed to hang them brakes on and wrestle it round the corner. There's been some fantastic stuff today. Arne Schönfeld once again going to get past Rabiot this time. Rabiot looks like he's going to get reeled in at last by the pack, with Siggy continuing to chase down. So the Porsche will be past the McLaren. Hot on his heels though will be Kevin Siggy in 4th place, wants to get more positions. Yayovsky, cool as a cucumber. He would have seen the drive-through penalty for Brzezinski. He's going to know exactly who's ahead of him, and he's just going to keep on cruising back there in the BMW.
That's a Siggy on the Mulsanne straight in behind Schönfeld here as they head towards the second of 2 Mulsanne chicanes.
This is the replay of the move.
Yeah. And you'll just see him. What? There we go. Oh, almost. There we go. That's that's dedication.
There is a lot of space, but at one point, not even that space will be enough. And I think Kevin Siggy found that there is a wall, there is an end to this wide straight. You can't just make it wider each and every time. Still worked out for him though, which means if he now gets onto... Oh wait, he's in 4th now. Yeah, Schönfeld 2nd, Jonas Rabiot 3rd. So what does Kevin Siggy want to end this championship in a podium spot? The podium spot gets him a lot of money at least.
For his penalty.
And that was Brzezinski turning out right in the background that we saw there. With that, Yayovsky gets position 5.
Is this enough for Wisniewski to be 3rd? I believe it is in the championship, correct? If he wins this race, I believe he's going to get up into 3rd place. Maybe wrong.
We'll find out in 3 minutes.
Double check that, because we'll find out very soon. I believe it will be, and that's obviously a big jump for him, who started, I think, 6th or 7th today. So great racing by the Williams driver, and the back-to-back wins. The only person to get the back-to-back wins in the series, as well as Arne in 2nd place. Siggy looking to make the move and squeeze past him, looking down at Jonas. You can see just how wiggly that Porsche gets ahead of him when Arne has to slide it around them corners. Expertly
this is the final lap as well.
It is, and with Simoncic on DNF right now, that means everyone in front of Wisniewski is DNF'd in this race, besides the 2 championship contenders, while Jonas Rabiot is launching it at Arne once again. But yeah, with that, Wisniewski could potentially get the podium spot here in the championship.
Where's Kasdorp gone?
He's in 6th still. He's in 6th. No, he's in 6th.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
He's still there. He's still there.
Okay, he's still there. Okay.
He's not gone anywhere.
I was scrolled down too far already, because I was like, wait, if you lost him, he must be somewhere down here, but he wasn't.
Well, with this being the final lap, this is now or never for Kevin Siggy. I don't think he's going to be able to get ahead of Yayovsky, though, in terms of points and placements. So,
well, here comes Siggy on Rabiot.
Bravery, so he's going to get past Rabiot, and he's actually using Arne as a nice little draft. Arne's trying to break the draft of Rabiot there, and he's going to get the double past them both. Should be through on the inside. Is that cutting a little bit much? Oh, Arne's been collected. No! Oh no, he's gone wide, and that's I didn't see whether he collected with Siggy. I got to assume he did. But obviously with that, it means Yayovsky will move up into 4th place. Schoenfeld goes all the way down to 9th, trying to collect himself. Van der Heider's actually managed to get past as well.
Oh, that's Nisula was braking for Arne Schoenfeld, and with that, downshifting too quickly, blowing his engine on the McLaren. So we're losing basically 2 cars in the top 10 there, and with that we also lose the only Porsche that could have been a podium spot here, and turning it into a full McLaren podium, unless Yayovsky now makes a move onto Jonas Raivio and gets a BMW in there.
Well, Ravio's tanking it along, but now Yayovsky, he's going to finish this out in 4th. Let's have a look at the replay of this one. This is obviously the key part of it, so you see the beautiful move from Siggy there. Oh, just a little connection there. Close the door a little too hard.
Yeah, Siggy went to take his racing line and wasn't. Well, I didn't realise Schoenfeld was still there, but thankfully Siggy didn't get punted off into the weeds.
Well, that was really unfortunate. Like Arne Schoenfeld had such a strong race, was fighting basically for 45 minutes with Kevin Siggy, and now not having that podium for him, that must really hurt. I don't want to see a full McLaren podium. Would love to see Porsche up there or BMW, but Yayovsky is too far back now.
Oh, Ravio, what are you doing, lad?
That was a send around the side. He's going around the outside. He's got the drive. He may well work. He's going to have the inside here. What a move from Jonas Ravio on Kevin Siggy. Oh, that's just sending it straight back on him. And we're on the last lap, of course, so this could be one that sticks.
That's made every highlight reel for eternity.
Yeah, it counts what happens in the last minutes, right? And for Jonas Raivio, that looks really good. While Nikodem Wisniewski will take another win for Williams Esports here in the GT Pro Series, winning the main race at Le Mans, the season finale. And Kevin Siggy seems like not finished yet with Jonas Raivio, but Jonas will make it stick. He comes second right behind Wisniewski, Kevin Siggy in 3rd, making sure to get another podium, and Yayovsky in 4th, which potentially means he is our champion, and then Risto Capit, however he did that,
he's been collected. 5th. Oh, just caught the back end of him. Al-Sabti will hang on for 9th with Pinto in 10th. I think it was Drillen that just collected the backside of Al-Sabti, but back-to-back wins, the first driver to do it, Nikodem Wisniewski. Fantastic race from him. Obviously, unfortunately for him, he's not been the story of the race, because the story was all about Siggy and Yayovsky, and I'm pretty sure we're safe to say that Yayovsky has won the championship here. He's doing a little wiggle. Yeah, he's doing a little wiggle. He's loving it. He just played it as cool as you like and just kept Kevin Siggy in front of himself, and he's going to start doing donuts. Love it. He's doing donuts.
970 points for Yayovsky, 959 for Siggy.
Yeah, that will be Yayovsky taking the championship. I mean, there shouldn't be any penalties to Yayovsky.
Well, Rudy Van Buren and Wisniewski equal points, but Van Buren's on 3rd because he's won more races, I think.
He should wait. That's 2 race wins for Wisniewski, and I only see 1 race win for Rudy Van Buren. So probably it will be Wisniewski, if I'm not mistaken here with the rulebook, on 3rd. So we would have Yayovsky, Siggy, Wisniewski, then Van Buren, Tomola, Simoncic, and Arne Schoenfeld, with Jonas Raivio being on 8th.
Yeah, this hasn't updated quite how we... Maybe I'll refresh it, see what happens. Including drop round.
Yeah, that's what I've been on.
Points aside, what a fantastic race. What an absolute delight that was. We saw obviously a lot of drafting, overtakes. Yes, that's a given, but we saw some spectacular send-it moves. Siggy with 1 or 2 of them. Arne Schoenfeld with an absolute fantastic one. Pev earlier on in the sprint race, an amazing move. Obviously, Ravio at the end there, getting his highlight reel set up there with an outside maneuver around Siggy. What a race.
I love that we saw so many duos basically on the track that were fighting for more than 20-30 minutes without any contact, really showing that they each respect each other. They're making sure that if they want to make a move, it's a good one they're going for, and if the opponent is going for one, that they leave the room, the space that's needed. They're still fighting hard. It's not like, at least I never had that feeling here in GT Pro, that people are not defending, but they do it in the right way, and it really shows the class that we have here from the top GT drivers in rFactor2.
So fantastic series overall. Congratulations to obviously the winner, to Wisniewski, for being the only person to win back to back. We were obviously a little afraid at the start that somebody was going to be walking away with those Fanatec wheels, because obviously the winner will be getting one of those. So we thought somebody's going to be stacking them out. We weren't too sure with Rudy winning the first one whether that was going to happen. Actually, Yayovsky, didn't he win the first race, I believe, of the series, and it's continued to be pretty steady throughout. Him and Sigi, in fairness, there's a reason that they're up the top there. They've both been consistently placing very well throughout the season. I can see, I'm looking at the placements, obviously, for Yayovsky. He's been very good consistently in the sprint and the main race. It was only the Nurburgring where he had a DNF, I believe, and that cost him, obviously. But you can chalk that one off, and that's the beauty of the series. Remove one of those races so it doesn't cost you just that one mistake that you may make in one of these races.
Now, lots of tracks to tackle, and here we're showing you once again prices provided by the race and Fanatec. So round by round prices, that's actually what the drivers got for each and every race, or let's say round, because a round obviously has 2 races, so it's not per race but per round. And as Lee said already, Fanatec Club Sport Steering Wheel Formula V2 was on there, same as the Podium Advanced Paddle module. And then the championship prizes, that is now for the final standings, where we think that Yayovsky will take those 3,000 euros, plus everything that's on the right. So a Fanatec Club Sport Steering Wheel Formula V2, a Podium DD1, a Podium Advanced Paddle module, a Club Sport Paddle Set V3, and the Brake Performance Kit. So you can probably build a second rig, just to be sure, like technical problems or anything that could stop him from racing. Can't happen in the future unless it's the internet. That will be quite hard for him. But yeah, that was quite a show that the drivers put on across the 6 rounds that we had here in the GT Pro Series. And it seems like we found winners that absolutely deserve it. That wasn't down to luck. We just discussed that, right? It was down to people really being on point each and every time they showed up here on Mondays.
Yeah, and let's explain to people. Obviously, there's been a lot of people that maybe have joined the series throughout or seen the race, because obviously, esports racing itself has risen to dominance, especially sim racing has certainly highlighted over the last 2 months with the process. But how do people qualify for this? Because obviously you have the main race right now with obviously this Pro Series. There's a championship series, but how do they get into all that, Rennie?
Before we talk about that, let's go for a simple statement and actually a little video for everyone out there to see, because Season 1 might be over, but Season 2 is just waiting around the corner. August 2020, that's when we will return for Season 2 of the rFactor2 GT Pro Series, also then for the GT Challenge Series, so don't worry, it's not going away. And Lisa already, how do you actually get into this? So there will be an open qualifier hot lapping, because none of the challenge drivers will stay. So just to run through it in detail now, the last 5 positions of GT Pro, they will drop out and they're gone, basically. They can qualify again, obviously, but they're gone, not going anywhere. The next 5 will go into the relegation, so that's position 26 to 20. No, 25th to 21. These guys will go into a relegation race, which will also show live, obviously. Will happen a bit closer to a Season 2 start, so it's not like next week or in 2 weeks, don't worry. Where those 5 on 21 to 25th will go up against 6 and 10 of GT Challenge split number 1. Once again, the 5 of that will stay in GT Pro, the top 5. The other top 5 drop out, not returning unless they're qualifying again. And then there will be this open hot lap qualifier where all of you guys out there, if you're on the Twitch chat, if you're in YouTube chat, and you think like, wait, that's great racing, I want to be involved in that. We got multiple splits in Challenge. So even if you might not run full going into Pro on your first season, then there are still races for you to be involved in this. It's the same tracks as the Pro Series. It follows the same schedule besides being 1 week later. So always after the Pro race. So you guys can have a look at the Pro race first on Le Mans, for example, and then next Monday, the challenge races. Obviously, that's covered by Lewis McGlade and Aidan Millward. Definitely check that stream out next Monday, 8 p.m. CEST. But depending on your qualifier in the hot lap, we'll put you in the grids. First 30 get in split number 1, right? Next 30 get in split 2. And every 2 races, after every 2 races, we look at the previous 2 races, look at the score, and if you're among the top 5, then you actually move 1 split up. So even if you start the season in split 2, there's still a chance for you to even run for qualifying for Pro. Just move up after the first 2 races and then fight for the points in split number 1. Yeah, and then you might be in for GT Pro in season 3. So this is an entire ladder system, basically. Everyone can take part. Just get into the hot lap qualifier. It will be around August. So you still have quite a few weeks to get accustomed to the GT3 race cars. If you're new to rFactor2 or any of the content that we're running here, we're obviously only running Studio 3 and 7 official content, so you don't need to worry if there's any mods that you might not know about yet that could be used. But it is open to everyone. There is money on the line, there is fame on the line, and there is the chance to get Lewis and Aidan talk about you, which is not always good, I have to say, though.
What?
But the chance, I mean, sometimes you say mean things about people, right?
Not me.
Oh,
I'm the good
blaming
cop.
Lewis immediately.
He's not here. It's fine.
But guys, that's the first season for us. Also, the first season that we all work together. We get the rFactor2 GT Challenge Series schedule on the screen for you guys. So round 6, they still have that. They still don't have a champion in GT Challenge, so they still also have the 5 spots that actually move up to Pro, which will be a very interesting one. So check that out next Monday, the same channel. It's over twitch.tv/rFactor Live. Make sure you don't miss that, because 5 people want to replace the 5 drivers that probably, if the results are correct, drop out of GT Pro, which will be Zibishara, Robin Punsa, Kevin Ryan, David Moronchek, and Max Verstappen. So they will all be out of GT Pro Series Season 2. And new 5 guys coming in, and that will be the action that we see next Monday. But guys, is there anything that you want to say about Season 1? About, obviously, it's amazing working together, right? Don't really say that. But your chance now.
I just, honestly, it's blown me away how good this series has been. Obviously, you talked about the format for it coming into this, and there was a bit of a bite back, I believe, on the sprint race, the flip of the time, flip of the top 10 in the race, but it's turned out to be an absolutely magnificent format. The racing has been spectacular in both sprint and the main 45-minute race. And honestly, overall, I don't think we can ask for much more from a GT Pro series. I think we'd be hard pushed to better this series next time around.
All I know is that the highlight reel is going to be fun to edit. Everything that went on in this one.
Aidan is always concerned about work. Oh, damn.
No, because it's like, oh, I want to put that bit in, but I also want to put that bit in. There's just no time. I can't get everybody in.
Are we going to have a super slow-mo of
easy on the that? Yeah, Ravio's moves definitely going in there.
It will be a 6-minute video of only Eunice Ravio making moves in Le Mans.
It would just be. There were 2 races, but just watch this over and over and over again for 6 minutes, because there's nothing else. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to send it around the outside of Porsche. No problem. Fine.
That's a lie. There has been so much action. Also want to say thanks to everyone watching on Twitch and YouTube. Also to the race to TW Steel and Fanatec providing the prizes here. Has also been a watch on the line for all the drivers. So winning a championship also gets you a brand new watch. Not bad at all. Hello with that, looking stylish coming into Season 2. So without their support, we couldn't actually run this series. So make sure to check out the pages, the Race YouTube channel, Fanatec Gear. They all supported us in making this series. But other than that, I think I will close down Season number 1 for the GT Pro. You will all be back on next Monday for GT Challenge. And other than that, we will see you in Season 2, August 2020. Goodbye.